Hello, my name is Pastor Andy Schreier from Redeemer Lutheran Church. Excuse me. Did I make you yawn? Yawns are contagious. I didn't need to do any research online to know that. But what I did learn after doing a bit of research is that for all our amazing advances in modern medicine and science, experts still can't explain why we yawn. Nor do they know why yawns are so contagious. But they are. Ask any preacher. There is no worse feeling than to look out over your congregation and see the spawning of the yawns. I mean, it happens quickly. You hit an inevitable lull in your sermon when suddenly one person politely covers their mouth and muffles a yawn. And before you know it, the yawns spread through the church like fans doing the wave at a Friday night football game. It is an irrefutable truth. Yawns are contagious. And so is the way you respond to the preaching and worship at your church. For example, you may struggle with your pastor who isn't very engaging or a polished public speaker, but what you may not know is that it isn't just your yawns during his sermon that are contagious. When we roll our eyes, when we act bored, indifferent, or otherwise disinterested in the preaching at our churches, or as we sing our hymns of praise to our God, other people notice. It affects how others respond to the same preaching and worship. Negativity, like yawning, is contagious. But so are smiles. So is joy. When we get excited about entering God's house to worship Him, when we sing out our songs of praise with joy, when we genuinely and joyfully lift up our heads to listen during the sermon, that enthusiasm is contagious, especially for new people visiting our churches. Imagine you go to a restaurant. The waiter walks by with a sizzling tray. He sets plates in front of the people at the table next to you, and you hear them oohing and eyeing. You see them savoring their first bites of an amazing meal, and without realizing it, you say to the waiter, "I want what they're having." Worship in such a way that others say, "I want what they're having." But that's hard to do when the preaching is disjointed or the music monotonous. What we often fail to understand is that it isn't the musician's job to entertain us. It isn't the preacher's job to keep your attention. That's your job. When we put in the effort to really chew on and think about the words which are being said and sung, God's amazing words of comfort, strength, and guidance, those words create a response in us that is contagious. I am completely convinced that the most important impression a first-time visitor has of a church isn't how well the musicians play their instruments or how engaging the preacher is. The thing which causes the most lasting impression is the way God's people worship. Yawns and negativity are contagious, but so are joy and enthusiasm. Remember that the next time you park your posterior in the pew. Fight against the temptation to give in to apathy and boredom. Think about, chew on, take to heart those words you are hearing and singing. Let them convict, comfort, and move you. And then show it in how you sit and stand and sing. Because joy and enthusiasm, just like yawns, are contagious.